Germany's Huawei equipment removal backfires. Why on earth? Would you believe it? German taxpayers forked out 16.5 billion renminbi to dismantle Huawei equipment, only for the 5G network speed to plummet from 290 megabits per second to 42 megabits per second, a crippling drop of more than 6 times. Previously, 4K videos loaded in a second, but now even posting to social media takes ages. Munich citizens are furious, calling the expenditure worse than burning money. Even more absurdly, robotic arms at a BMW factory suddenly went on a mass strike, reducing single-shift production by nearly 20%, costing the company an estimated 800 million euros per year. This entire fiasco is the ultimate example of shooting oneself in the foot. Many people think 5G is just about faster internet, but it has long become the nerve fiber of industry. It's like a hospital's emergency system. Huawei equipment was the quick-reacting chief surgeon, while the replacements are, at best, newly graduated interns. 5G base stations don't just transmit phone signals. They connect factory sensors, smart machinery, and logistics systems. A delay of just 1 millisecond can cause a robotic arm to pick up the wrong part, potentially stopping the entire production line. Germany isn't just dismantling equipment, it's tearing out the central nervous system of its industrial sector. What's more mind-boggling is that this network dismantling movement has no security evidence behind it. The German Federal Office for Information Security investigated Huawei equipment for years and concluded no backdoors were found. The UK intelligence services also previously stated that Huawei risks are manageable. In stark contrast, the newly installed European equipment suffered 3 security vulnerabilities last month, leading to communication outages on the Berlin subway. More ironically, 70% of the engineers at Huawei's German R&D center are local staff. The so-called foreign threat is merely a political excuse. Germany's farce is not an isolated incident, it's a microcosm of political interference in technology across Europe and the US. Next, we will expose the even more ridiculous blunders made by countries like the US, UK, and Sweden after they followed suit in de-Huawei-ing, showing how political bias can completely ruin a winning hand. The self-inflicted wounds of the de-Huawei campaign. 1. The United States, buried by the pit it dug. The US, the original instigator of the de-Huawei push, is now buried up to its neck in the pit it dug. In 2020, the estimated cost to clean up Huawei equipment was $1.8 billion. By 2025, the compensation applications from carriers have soared to $5.6 billion, more than triple the original estimate. Rural areas in Kansas are suffering the most. After dismantling Huawei base stations, the new equipment has been repeatedly delayed. Local farmers can't transmit data for drone irrigation, leading to a 12% reduction in corn yield. In a final slap in the face, US telecom operators secretly revealed that to secure enough equipment, they are covertly buying second-hand Huawei parts from third parties, slapping a "Made in the USA" sticker on them, and putting them to use. Shocking! The so-called security initiative is essentially politicians setting traps for businesses. The US is using executive orders to force carriers to replace equipment but can't provide sufficient subsidies. Operators are left with 2 choices: operate at a loss or engage in covert operations. Technological development follows objective laws. You can't force a farmer to replace a tractor with a bronze hoe. Forcibly interfering with technical choices through political mandates will only lead to industrial regression. The US lesson proves that treating technology as a political chip will ultimately force its own industries to pay the price and leave ordinary citizens bearing the loss. 2. The United Kingdom, from pioneer to digital burden. The UK, once a 5G pioneer, has become Europe's drag. After following the ban on Huawei in 2020, the UK's 5G deployment was delayed by 2 to 3 years, costing over $3.1 billion. Ookla's 2025 data shows the UK's 5G coverage rate is only 45.2%, less than half of Sweden's. London's financial district has seen an absurd scenario. Traders miss critical transaction timings due to 5G latency, losing £20 million in a single day. Most ironically, Vodafone, the UK's largest operator, publicly complained that the replacement Nokia equipment is not only 20% more expensive but also has a 3 times higher failure rate, keeping maintenance staff constantly overworked. A paradigm shift in understanding. The UK's own intelligence services had already seen through the truth. MI5 privately informed operators that Huawei equipment risks were much lower than perceived, but the government suppressed this assessment to appease the US. Technology selection should be based on performance, cost, and practical results. Yet the UK made Allied face its sole standard, ultimately dropping from a 5G frontrunner to a follower. This, mistaking the branch for the root, operation has not only cost businesses billions but also caused the country to miss the golden period of digital economy development, a textbook example of a policy blunder. 3. Sweden, protecting the competitor's home turf. Sweden's experience is even more dramatic. As the hometown of Ericsson, the country intended to support its domestic champion through the de-Huawei effort, only to spectacularly sabotage itself. After Sweden fully banned Huawei in 2024, Ericsson promised a seamless replacement. However, during installation, they found the equipment interfaces were incompatible, requiring new cable laying and extending the construction period from 3 months to 1 year. Stockholm Airport's communication outages caused a 40% surge in flight delays, leading to widespread traveler complaints. Even more damningly, Ericsson's 2025 financial report showed its 5G R&D investment was 35% less than Huawei's, and its core technology patents were only half the number. The alleged local advantage was pure fantasy. The secret is out. Sweden's protectionism is essentially protecting backward capacity. In the era of globalization, technology is intertwined globally. Huawei's 5G technology integrates patents from many countries, and Ericsson relies on the Chinese supply chain. Forcibly segregating tech companies by nationality only disrupts the industrial ecosystem's balance. Sweden's lesson is clear. Relying on political barriers to protect domestic companies is like building a wall around a greenhouse flower. It looks safe but robs the company of the drive to compete, ultimately leading to its elimination by the market. The cost continues to mount. Looking back at Germany, the cost of the network dismantling movement is still escalating. Beyond the BMW factory, the German rail system faces an existential crisis. 70% of its network communication equipment depends on Huawei. The replacement cost exceeds €400 million and will take 5 to 6 years, while high-speed rail delays have already increased by 15%, and freight efficiency has dropped by 10%. Small businesses in Düsseldorf are suffering even more. Slow 5G speeds cause frequent mobile payment freezes, forcing many shops to revert to cash. Most ironically, the German government's €2 billion subsidy for carriers is a mere fraction of the replacement cost, so carriers are forced to raise phone bills, increasing the average monthly communication cost for citizens by €30. This is not ensuring security, it is a political farce where the public pays the price. The German Federal Office for Information Security's report proved Huawei equipment was safe, yet politicians deliberately ignored it. Huawei employs 1,800 local staff in Germany and contributes significant tax revenue, yet it is branded a threat. Technology should serve people, but it has become a tool for political maneuvering. Ordinary citizens are footing the bill for political prejudice, and businesses are suffering for ideology. Such security is meaningless. Germany's experience warns us that politicizing technological issues ultimately leads to public hardship and industrial crisis. The reward for refusing to conform. Meanwhile, those European countries that refuse to follow the trend are quietly reaping the benefits. Hungary has consistently used Huawei equipment. Its 2025 average 5G speed reached 280 megabits per second, far exceeding the EU average, attracting companies like Amazon and Google to build data centers there, and creating 12,000 jobs. Spain allows Huawei to participate in 5G construction. Its 5G SA deployment rate is 8%, 6 times the EU average, and its digital economy growth rate has exceeded 7% this year. The practices of these countries prove that respecting the laws of technology and adhering to market choice is the true path to a win-win in technology and economy. The truth is simple: technology has no borders, only good and bad. Huawei dominates 31% of the global telecom equipment market thanks to an average annual 20% R&D investment, gallium nitride (GaN) technology that leads its European peers, and a superior cost-performance ratio. Western nations ignoring these facts and forcibly interfering with technology through politics is fundamentally a betrayal of market rules and an attack on the spirit of innovation. The countries that followed the de-Huawei trend are paying for their political prejudice with real money and development opportunities, while those that insist on openness and cooperation have already seized the high ground of the digital economy. With 3.2 billion people still relying on Huawei's 5G network, Chinese enterprises' R&D personnel accounting for 55% of their workforce, and the irresistible tide of technological globalization, political interference is ultimately a fool's errand. Germany's internet speed, the UK's latency, and the US's costs are all repeatedly proving treating technology as a pawn will eventually lead to complete defeat. Only by respecting objective laws and embracing open cooperation can technology truly serve humanity.